Hello and welcome to another episode of Ossi Comments On, in this case Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, or Donald Trump versus Joe Biden rather, by Epic Rap Battles of History. This just came in this weekend, I think, and because in a few days the election in the US is held. This is, I think, the perfect time to comment on this video. As you might have noticed, the name of the channel has changed because Knowledge Enthusiast is a bit long. It's a bit, hard to remember, I think. And also there are already channels on YouTube by that name. So I changed it to Ossi KE, that KE still meaning Knowledge Enthusiast. So this is still Knowledge Enthusiast, but the name of the channel just has changed. And to me, I'm Ossi Eastbourne. I'm 31 years old. I'm born in East Germany, but raised and now living in Hamburg, Germany. I am a former history student without degree and a former video game journalist. And as I said, this is Knowledge Enthusiast, or Ossi KE. And we do mostly history-related commenting videos on Fridays and the World Wednesdays on Wednesdays, of course, where we play mostly GeoGuessr. And I hope you enjoyed the first two episodes that were uploaded this and last week. You can be sure that this video might get a little bit controversial, because I won't only watch the video and comment on it if I can, because I really don't know much about Donald Trump and even less about Joe Biden. I know my fair share about the American political system, so this is why I want to do this, and this is why the next video will most likely be on the Civil War from Oversimplified. So look forward to that if I manage to do that in time, which will then be next Friday after the election. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions will be in there, but I'm hoping that you will kindly correct me, not shout at me. I won't use the US national anthem as background music in this video, because I know how crazy some Americans can get. So I will use some different music. I haven't decided yet. And if I do mess up, if I do say stuff that might be wrong, and in my research after when I edit the video I found out about it, then you will learn about it in the info text box right there. And without further ado, let's start. We will watch the whole song, which is 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and then rewatch it when and I will comment it. So we once watch it in full and then with commenting. So let's start.
Joe Biden.
It's the DJT, getting it on. The Teflon Don on the White House lawn. Against wimps like you, I'll win a third term. Your campaign's like your family, crash and burn. Looting and violence will keep the MAGA movement quiet. Resist me? That's a riot. Why'd you step behind the gym? I'll be standing by. See how tough you are against the 45. I should've hoped for your whole party, bigger than the one I blew through, cause I'm Soleimani. Then I go and bone on Milani. I'm gonna smash you, Joe. Like China. I got all the best cognition with all the top grammar. I'm not a little girl's shoulders, so you can't touch this MC stammer. You're a disaster, inciting hysteria. You say I'm selling hate in America, you're selling hate in America. Like with Hillary, the people aren't swayed. Just Barack's shadow, and I don't really like the shade.
The pain of losing loved ones is something I have seen. So I know how you must have felt when they killed Jeffrey Epstein. Rap lyrics just ain't for you. You should stick to love letters for Kim Jong-un. You're a wrestling heel. Nothing about you's real. Bitch, you didn't even really write the art of the deal. But you tapped into the rage of red Mad Hatters. Well, let me tell you, Trump, all lives matter. I don't want to defund no police. I picked a DA for my VP. I'm not a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm just an old ass man with some decency. Wrong. No matter what you try to say, global warming ain't cancer. You pulled out a parachute, should've pulled out a Stormy Daniels. I ain't sleepy, I'm tired of you, Donald Trump, you're fired.
The only thing getting fired on my watch is tear gas from law enforcement. I'll keep America great. You'll unleash Antifa and keep America like Portland. Ain't nothing gonna beat me. No person, woman, man, camera, TV. They impeached me. I still walked out of D.C. looking peachy. You got the sloppy Joe, but no beef. The only white privilege I see are those teeth. Maybe teach your son a thing or two about life. Like there's no hunting season for your dead brother's wife. You and your mask and your Knight Rider shades are getting revoked like your Roe versus Wade. There's no blue wave. Forget it, not coming. It's like I tell criminals, Joe, stop running.
Was Breonna Taylor running? You dog whistling fool. I think your daddy would finally be proud of you. He was a racist asshole too.
Tot is deal?
What's this malarkey?
Oh, je
Keep at it and you'll end up in jail, hoss. I'll take you down like a mule and you're a mailbox. From all your wives to the SATs, everything you ever did, you just had to cheat. Cause you're too insecure to even look like a loser. You're the worst damn Republican since Herbert Hoover. When you scooped up a sycophantic homophobe loser and became the Constitution's domestic abuser. 200,000 deaths lying at your door. You think they're suckers like McCain in the Marine Corps. Sometimes I can't tell for which side you're rooting. When we go high, you go down on poop. Truth is, you're scared to lose. You got nothing in the bank that I owe you. You're white about balance like a bitch. But the only thing that's rigged is taxes for the rich. You're a freeloader. Change your name to Trump. My campaign train, but you can't get down to rape. I'm pulling away faster than your wife's hand. For the love of democracy, will you shut up, man?
Hold on. Hold down. You. Literally decide.
You literally decide, yeah. Oh, is there something else coming? Wait a second. I think that's a hint for the next one. Who this? Huh. Is one black hand, one yellow hand? Is that supposed to be Jaime Lannister? With one hand in the glove, the right hand, the golden hand, and the other hand not? I don't know. But I think that's enough, so let's start again. Yeah. First things first. I don't like the beat. I really don't like the beat. It's too... I don't know, when you compare it to the beat of like Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, a little reminder here.
Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton.
That beat has more into it, maybe in the end. There is, you can really feel it. I think if you know what I mean. It's hard to describe in English for me, but the beat gets me more. And the beat from Obama versus Mitt Romney is also has more power. It has more power than this piano style slow beat, which is not really fitting for the characters. I think someone like Donald Trump and an election that is as important as this one will prove to be, I think deserves something with more power to it, but I don't know. This the actual text was kind of really actual, like current, and has quotes in it from at least the first presidential debate with these "Will you shut up, man?" So maybe they got this in a hurry because they felt obliged to do so because they did the previous 2 elections. But yeah, it's also said that Abraham Lincoln won't show up in this one, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, and it's really hard for me to talk about this because I know I will upset people, but just that we have one thing straight. In my opinion, the US every 4 years votes for either the Republicans, which is the bad party, or the Democrats, which is the left bad party. So they more or less have to choose the lesser evil, which usually, at least in my political opinion, would be the Democrats. But more on this maybe after the video. But let's just start. As I said, I don't like the beat. Then we have here Joe Biden with his mask and hand sanitizer and sunglasses. I've never seen him with sunglasses, but I've never seen him that often. And mask and sunglasses, I tell you, don't go together really well, because the glasses will just vaporize. I don't know what the English word for it is. I will put it right over me. I think also it doesn't really look like Joe Biden. I think they do really catch the look of Donald Trump, but not so much Joe Biden. I don't know. He more looks like. For me, so like from what I see here, it more remembers me of Henry Kissinger. Was it Kissinger? No, not Kissinger. Jimmy Carter. I mean Jimmy Carter. He more looks like Jimmy Carter than I think he looks like Joe Biden. Let me pull up a picture of Biden. Yeah, so no, this is not really. I mean, no, this, yeah, and hand sanitizer because Joe Biden is. We all have the corona crisis. It's worldwide. It's Germany just decided a second lockdown for a month. For the month of November, starting on Monday. So. It is a crisis, and we all have to do our part in it. And Joe Biden at least pretends, because I don't actually know the man, the real Joe Biden, if you want so, and I think no one does except his closest friends and himself, of course. But the least he does is to pretend that he cares, and my impression is that he actually cares about the virus and about hygiene and not spreading it, which is the total opposite of Donald Trump. And I saw the last presidential debate. I didn't saw the first one because I don't like Donald Trump. His opinion is vastly different. Yeah, let's just go a bit. Like I said, they really get the look of Trump. In my opinion, he makes too much gestures with his hands, because the way I see him is he always like he has something stuck under his armpits and he doesn't want it to fall off, so he has always his armpits close and only uses the hands. This is his most famous gesture, I think, and stuff like this. And yeah, he's not a man for big gestures, let's say so. But apart from that, yeah, that smeary look, the orange face. But in the last debate, he got roasted a little bit more. I think he was more brownish. I don't know. Is that a skin condition? Is it does he use like makeup that is thought for people with darker skin tones? I had a classmate once that was pale white, almost like an albino, but did use makeup that was intended for people with really dark skin. So her face was really almost black facing, but you still would see that she was pale like the moon, because she only did her face, not her neck and her. Anatomy is not my best in English. That's Donald Trump.
It's the DJT, getting it on. The Teflon Don on the White House lawn. Against wimps like you, I'll win a third term.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, he said something like he would run for a third term, even though it is not legal. So in the US, if you are from the US, you know this, and if you don't, you might know this too, because it's really common knowledge. Since Eisenhower, I think. So Franklin D. Roosevelt was the first and only president to do more than 2 terms. Before that, it was just like a gentleman's agreement, because George Washington did step down after 2 terms, and so did then every president after. But I think Teddy Roosevelt wanted to run for a 3rd term, but wasn't elected. And Franklin D. Roosevelt did actually run for 4 terms and was voted in the 4th term, but then died. And yeah, after that, I think was Eisenhower the one who, under Eisenhower, it became the law, the constitutional law, that a president shall not serve more than 2 terms. And I think Donald Trump made some statements like, if he gets voted again for a 2nd term, then he will run for a 3rd, in a complete misunderstanding of the political system of his own country, apparently. The other things he says here, Teflon Don, like, I think that is referring to the fact that all what was thrown at him before and during his presidency just he didn't care about it, more or less, and it had no real negative effect on him, and I still don't understand why.
The Teflon Don on the White House lawn. Against wimps like you, I'll win a 3rd term. Your campaign's like your family. Crash and burn.
I think that's a reference to Joe Biden's family, which apparently died in a plane crash. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about these people. But it would make sense. So let's just assume. Yeah, this facial expression is that's Donald Trump. That's how if I close my eyes and visualize Donald Trump speaking, it's that.
Against wimps like you, I'll win a 3rd term. Your campaign's like your family. Crash and burn. Looting and violence will keep the MAGA movement quiet. Resist me? That's a riot.
Again, no clue about the things he says before with magma stuff. Like, I will put it in the info text box. I will do research on that, of course. But resist me, that's a riot is, I think, one of the worst things that Trump's presidency will stand for, no matter if he gets reelected or not. It's just what I always have the feeling that what he says is law in his opinion, and if anyone is against it, then that's a riot. And this was best shown in his handling of the Black Lives Matters movements and the riots in I think Jacksonville, was it, and various cities where he actually sent, or was it in Indianapolis? I will bet in some bigger city. I think that one with George Floyd was the name, where he sent the National Guard in and the army and stuff like that. And even though the local politicians and the local government told him not to do so, and he just said that's a riot. You are not able to handle this, and so he sent in the National Guard, and that's just an overreaction that is more or less very typical for Donald Trump.
Looting and violence will keep the MAGA movement quiet. Resist me? That's a riot. Why'd you step behind the gym? I'll be standing by. See how tough you are against the 45. I should have hoped for your whole party. Bigger than the one I blew through, cause I'm so money.
Yeah, from as you might know, I live in Germany, which is in Europe, which is a whole ocean away from the US. And even though the US election has effects more or less all over the world, especially in those countries who are supposed to be in an alliance with the US, and with people in it who regrets that, and I'm one of them, at least under the circumstances that we currently have with this person. From this perspective, seen from this perspective, I don't think Donald Trump ever succeeded in anything. He failed at pretty much everything, except from getting president of the United States, of course. Everything he tried while president failed. I think there still is no wall. I think a few miles have been built, and I hate myself for saying miles right now, but you know what I mean. And but if there is one thing he succeeded in, then it's splitting America and the American population, and especially the Democratic Party, who just after Hillary Clinton was more or less clueless what to do against him, because the voters for Donald Trump, they don't care about politics, they don't care about politicians, all they care about is more or less a person like Donald Trump, someone who is not from the establishment, who is not a politician. They don't care about if he does his job right. They just want something else, and it's hard to get those voters for a politician. There's a huge division, but not only inside the Democratic Party, but also inside the Republicans. Many Republicans hate or openly criticize Trump for his actions, his policies, and I think some even said that he should not be allowed to run another term.
45. I should have hoped for your whole party. Bigger than the one I blew through, cause I'm so money. Then I go and bone on Melania. I'm gonna smash you, Joe. Like China.
Soleimani, I don't know what this is a reference to. Melania, of course, is the wife of, is it the current wife of Donald? I think it's the current wife of Donald Trump. So it was a sex joke. And the last one, like I blow China. I would not know that he did anything with China except from, what was it, like banning Huawei and TikTok? did he anything with China? I will put it in the info text. You see, I don't know why I even do this. This is not my expertise. The personal level. I'm really interested in politics, and I really have a good think I have a good understanding of politics, even international politics like US. But I have no clue about the actual people, because in contrast to the Americans, or many Americans, I do not care about the people, I do care about the politics. And yeah.
Then I go and bone on Milani. I'm gonna smash you, Joe. I've got all the best cognition with all the top grammar.
No. Just a no. And yeah, it's not. He's I don't know. He's even failing at writing sometimes.
You, Joe. I've got all the best cognition with all the top grammar. I'm not a little girl's shoulders, so you can't touch this MC stammer.
Yeah, that's also a face, I would imagine. Yeah, that's one thing. When I watched a video from Shuonhead or Brainlad, she has two channels, which is always ranting about politics in the US. Then she mentioned that Joe Biden is accused of being a sexual harasser, I think. And one case in this whole case was that he was always like touching shoulders of some girls, but he actually also tried to harass women, allegedly, and which isn't something that Donald Trump isn't also accused of. But yeah, that's another thing that grinds my gears. But yeah, this was just a reference to all these pictures of Joe Biden standing usually behind a like 9, 10, 11-year-old girl, having his hands on her shoulders. Yeah. And MC Hammer, MC Stammer, it's a wordplay.
I'm not a little girl's shoulders, so you can't touch this MC stammer. You're a disaster inciting hysteria. You say I'm selling hate in America, you're selling hate in America. Like with
As I said in the beginning, the Republicans are the bad party, the right-wing bad party, and the Democrats are the left-wing bad party, which means that you have the pretty much Nazis and communists, and that's all you have as options, more or less. And the Republicans always accuse the Democrats of being communists, and the Democrats accusing the Republicans of being Nazis, and to certain degrees that might be even true, for some people at least. You say I'm selling hate in America. As I said just now earlier, Donald Trump succeeded in splitting the American people, and he actually is selling hate in America. This is not an accusation of some sorts. This is the actual truth, because with his actions, with his politics, and with his tweets and stuff like that, he is really not only dividing American people, but instigating them to be violent. I mean, the whole thing with these ultra-right racist group that he referenced and said that they are good Americans or stuff like that, and all his calls to his followers to all these what he did since he started running with the fake news and stuff like that, instigating people to be to don't trust the media, to don't trust politics, to don't trust anyone except him, of course. And yeah, the thing before, I think, was a reference to Joe Biden being cautious about Corona, whereas Donald Trump actually had Corona because he wasn't cautious, still drove around, still infected all the people around him, even those who are meant to protect him and who were forced to go with him in a limousine. And then, instead of coming to a sense and saying stuff, yeah, okay, I was wrong, coronavirus is real, and it is serious, and he just comes out and says, it was nothing, I don't know what you all fear, and now I'm immune. Which is all. In the debate, when he was asked what would he do when he gets reelected with Corona, his answer literally was, I am immune. And the rest of his speech was just allegations in direction of Joe Biden to being too cautious, and praising himself for handling the situation just right with only 200,000 dead people in the US alone. Yeah, great job. And Biden is selling hating America is just because, from Trump's perspective, and to a certain degree from all Republicans' perspective, Democrats, they're not American, they are communists. They want to destroy America. They want to take all your precious freedoms.
In America, you're selling hate in America. Like with Hillary, the people aren't swayed. Just Barack's shadow, and I don't really like the shade.
Like with Hillary, the people... the thing with Hillary Clinton was she was... And don't get me wrong on this. Don't put it out of context. But she was, to some degree, some kind of media whore, by which I mean that she would. This is really nicely portrayed in the previous battle, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, where she does a dab and then immediately looks at the camera to check if they are filming. So. She was really, really fake in her attitude. She was, all the things she does was more or less for the media. So, yeah. And still, she got the public vote. So, how about that? She got, 2 million more votes than Donald Trump did. And, yeah, that's a thing. So the people more or less were swayed, but those who didn't vote for her, or some of those, were actually not swayed because of her fake attitude, and some because of Donald Trump's attitude and his anti-establishment and just being different. And few of them, maybe a lot of them, I don't know the actual numbers, were actual right-wing people and racists who thought that with Donald Trump, immigration wouldn't be a thing anymore, even though the country is built on immigration. The wall to Mexico was a big thing, and all that stuff. And so I'm really sure that most of flat earthers and anti-vaxxers and Karens voted for Donald Trump, but this was not because they weren't swayed by Hillary Clinton, but for other reasons, I think. Anyway, I'm losing point here. I think this is not really a commenting video. This is just me ranting about stuff. So enjoy it. And yeah, Biden was vice president of Obama, and yeah, another thing that he said during the presidential debate was many accusations that Biden did nothing in his 8 years as vice president, more or less showing to the whole world that Donald Trump is not really understanding how politics work. So Donald Trump, few things he did by decree, because in most things that he wanted, Congress, he couldn't be sure to have Congress majority, so he ruled just by decree and just enforcing his politics, his rules, which is something that not every president would do, because Democrats, as the name would say or suggest, should follow the democratic process, and therefore are maybe not that willing to rule by decree as Donald Trump is. So yeah, and the vice president is even less likely to enforce any rules. It's just the vice president. The vice president more or less has to follow the way that the president lays out. He can't do things on his own. So it wasn't, if there are any things that went wrong, and I'm pretty sure there were things that went wrong with Obama, then it's more either Obama's fault, or if he tried to enforce it but Congress denied, because Congress was mostly Republican, then it was the Congress' fault, but it was not really Biden's fault. Yeah, so, but it's a nice accusation, and people who don't really care about politics will listen to that and think, okay, yes, okay, yeah.
Stammer. You're a disaster, inciting hysteria. You say I'm selling hate in America, you're selling hate in America. Like with Hillary, the people aren't swayed. Just Barack's shadow, and I don't really like the shade.
The pain of losing loved ones is something I have seen. So I know how you must have felt when they killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Who's Jeffrey Epstein? Okay, as I said earlier, there were many accusations against Donald Trump for being sexual harasser and stuff, and I will do proper research on that, but on first glimpse, it just looked like, yeah, that these Jeffrey Epstein may have something against Donald Trump, which would support those accusations. So he was glad when he died, because a dead man can tell. Dead men tell no tales.
I have seen. So I know how you must have felt when they killed Jeffrey Epstein. Rap lyrics just ain't for you. You should stick love letters for Kim Jong-un. You're a wrestling heel. Nothing about you's real. Bitch, you didn't even really write the art of the deal. What you
Art of the deal. Kim Jong-un, sure, he met Kim Jong-un. He's, I think, more or less the first US president in many years to actually visit North Korea, and yeah, I think it is not the best look for Trump that he is so good with people like Putin and Kim Jong-un, and yeah, so well, this is harder than I thought.
You're a wrestling heel. Nothing about you's real. Bitch, you didn't even really write the art of the deal. But you tapped into the rage of red Mad Hatters. Well, let me tell you, Trump, all lives matter.
I'm just wondering, I was wondering this when I first saw the video too. This Red Lives Matter, is it forbidden to say Black Lives Matters on YouTube or stuff like that, or is this a clever pun that went over my head? I don't know, but yeah, Black Lives Matters is probably one of the topics this year next to Corona, and is just something that Trump, as I said earlier, miserably failed on acting. Or, I mean, instead of doing what he can to lower the voices, to make peace with this, more or less, he went and did the actual opposite and throw oil in the flames and watched it burn. And sometimes I think that Trump actually wants to see the country burn, like in the Batman movie.
But you tapped into the rage of red Mad Hatters. Well, let me tell you, Trump, all lives matter. I don't want to defund no police. I picked a DA for my VP. I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist. I'm just an old ass man with some decency.
That doesn't rhyme. But yeah, all which is something I really find funny, because Trump is the one who says, who started with fake news and stuff like that, and accused everyone of lying. And in the end is the most lying person like ever, if you know what I mean. You really can't trust anything that Trump says. And I also think he either acts really good as a stupid person, or he is really stupid. He's no matter what, he really is stubborn, and if you tell him facts, and those facts prove to be facts, but he was of a different opinion at first, then he will just do anything possible to denounce you, to either say you are lying when you say that you have stated those facts earlier, or to say that yeah, you did say that, but you said it in a different way, so the way you said it was wrong, but the way I said it was right. So what Biden states later here in the battle, Trump really don't want to look like a loser in any way, under any circumstances, no matter what, no matter in what context. He don't want to be a loser. He want to be really stubborn.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
Which reminds me of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which also is something that Donald Trump might be guilty of. But I don't know, dude. And don't get me wrong, I don't like both characters, because, as I said, it's just one bad and other bad and the whole system bad. And maybe I do something for the election day, or a reaction on after the election day. I don't know.
No matter what you try to say, global warming ain't cancer. You pulled out a parachute, should've pulled out a Stormy Daniels.
I don't get the reference with Stormy Daniels, but yeah, one of the first major things Donald Trump did that was that we in Europe really catched, was that he pulled out of the Paris conference agreement that was signed by Barack Obama to lower the carbon dioxide emissions worldwide with all participating countries. And his reason for pulling out, at least what he stated then in the debate last week, was just, yeah, because China did not join. So I pulled out and I made a better thing, and there is no one who did ever more for the environment than me. I mean, I don't want to bring up Teddy Roosevelt. I think everyone did more for the environment than Donald Trump, because all the other things in that matter that I was noticing was that he pretty much allowed everything that destroyed the environment, and yeah, which is kind of the opposite. It's the same with the Black Lives Matter thing, where he actually had the decency, the audacity, I mean, where he actually had the audacity to say that no president except maybe Abraham Lincoln, maybe, has done more for black people than Donald Trump, which is not only a lie and a very, very bold one, it's just stupid to say something like that. And the most outrageous thing about it is that first, people believe it, and second, that he has the audacity to even say that he might even be greater than Abraham Lincoln in that regards, which, come on, how could anyone be greater than the person who literally single-handedly is more or less responsible for slavery being abandoned? And there were other presidents who, some were forced to, but some did it on their own will, did really, really good things for the black community. Especially when then they got civil rights and they got voting rights, and the abolishment, not the abolishment, the apartheid the apartheid was abolished, stuff like that. So yeah, what the only thing that Trump did is, like he said in the last battle, more police and less Latinos, and those more police just killing left and right, not only black people but pretty much everyone, and he's not very supportive of reforming the police in the US. I mean, a few days ago I saw statistics, like in Norway, in I think Sweden, Denmark and Germany were put up, where in time frames of like 10 years in Denmark 3 people were shot, in Sweden in the time frame of 15 years or so 2 or 3 people were shot. In Germany, like 300 were killed by police in a time frame of 30 years now. And in the US, what was it, like 7,000, but I think a couple hundred or a couple thousand were killed in 2019, I think, alone. I will put that, I think it was a meme, but I think it's based on real data. I will research it. I will put it in the info text box. So yeah, no, I was furious when he made that statement. And Joe Biden is, my impression of Joe Biden is just he's very old. He's like your old grandpa who tells you stories, and sometimes he talks like he just had a stroke, losing his line of thought completely, changing subjects randomly, more or less, and stuttering and talking very slowly, and but still better than Trump, I think. I mean, as I said, it's 2 bad choices, but America, or the US of America, just won't agree to having a better system with more parties and more actual candidates with a chance. Just sticking to what you know.
No matter what you try to say, global warming ain't cancer. You pulled out a parachute or pulled out a stormy Daniel. I ain't sleepy, I'm tired of you, Donald Trump. You're
The
fired.
only thing getting fired on my watch is tear gas from law enforcement. I'll keep America great. You'll unleash Antifa and keep America like Portland. Hey.
Yeah, Portland was it. Portland was the one with the riots, and yeah, tear gas. I've seen videos of police forces using tear gas and hitting and bashing people who are just standing there, people who didn't even do something. And even if they would pose a threat, just an example, in Germany, we have protesters too, and as the whole world has seen during the G20 in Hamburg a few years ago, we also have violent rioters, people who pose a threat. Not a single shot was fired on them. We have water, I don't know, water throwers, you know what I mean, like huge, like fire trucks shooting water on those people, maybe hurting them, maybe injuring them, but not lethal, and not that damaging like actual hitting and bashing them would be, or tear gas, which is a chemical weapon, by the way, and forbidden, at least should be forbidden, because it is a chemical weapon and chemical weapons are not allowed. And this is a president who supports using chemical weapons against his own people, who use their actual human right of protesting. That's sad, and that's something that even if I would be more on the right, if I would be like a Republican in the US, I wouldn't support that. Just saying. Let's just continue.
I'll keep America great. You'll unleash Antifa and keep America like Portland. Ain't nothing gonna beat me. No person, woman, man, camera, TV. They impeached me. I still walked out of DC looking peachy.
But did they though? All I heard was that they wanted to impeach Donald Trump, but they didn't really get through. So if the president gets impeached, then a certain amount of people in the House of Representatives and the Senate would have to confirm that, to vote for the impeachment, and before that they also have to vote that the impeachment even starts, which the Democrats rallied for, but it failed on a few votes because the Republicans have the majority, and even if they don't support him, I think they wouldn't impeach their own president from their party. So as far as I know, he wasn't really impeached. But I might be wrong. I'm here in faraway land.
TV. They impeached me. I still walked out of DC looking peachy. You got the sloppy Joe, but no beef. The only white privilege I see are those teeth. Maybe teach your son a thing or two about life. Like there's no hunting season for your dead brother's wife. You and your mask and your Knight Rider shades are getting revoked like your Roe versus Wade. There's no blue wave. Forget it, not coming. Like I tell criminals, Joe, stop running.
So yeah, blue wave, sure. Blue is the color associated with the Democrats, and yeah, I think I remember that there was a huge media rumble about a tweet of Donald Trump where he said that criminals should stop running and then they wouldn't be harmed, which, as we all know, is not how it works in the US. Like Joe Biden also said in the last debate, that a white person, when stopped by the police, has to be careful. No movements, rapid movements, stuff like that. But a black person, if stopped by the police, is pretty much in very, very much danger and shouldn't even breathe. And which is something that we have seen with Breonna Taylor, who was shot in her own home by the police in the middle of the night, storming her house in casual clothing, no police clothing or something like that, because they thought that her ex-husband, ex-friend was storing drugs there in her house, and the actual ex-friend, stuff like that, was like 15 kilometers away in police custody, or he was observed by them, and Breonna Taylor had nothing to do with it. Did not even have a gun. Her husband had it, or her boyfriend had a gun, and shot 1 time at the police, and the police shot 8 times at Breonna Taylor at least. She was killed with 8 shots, and she was a person of color. So yeah, and she was not running. She was in her own home, and in the middle of the night, someone breaks the door in a country where everyone is believed to have a gun. So, yeah. This pretty much... I don't want to fuel any theories, of any sorts. But from an outsider's view, this just looks like you want them to defend themselves so you can shoot them. Which wouldn't even surprise me, given the state of the American police and society, especially in regards to people of color. Which is very sad, and which I hope will at some point be... finally at least like we have it in Europe, because racism in that sense isn't that common in Europe. It still exists, and there are still sad stories, especially here in Germany, with the most prominent one being Adriano in the late 90s, who was killed by a few neo-Nazis for being black. But it's not on that scale as it is in the US. And for first and foremost, it's not that lethal. especially in regards to the police. There are accusations that the German police also has some people who are racist or who are in other ways not suitable for the job, but there are no, at least not in that high numbers, no cases of police forces killing people of color or of another heritage, another ethnics, stuff like that. Because usually police in Germany don't kill people. When someone runs, then they shoot in. When they shoot in the leg, so the people stops running, but isn't lethally hurt. Let's continue.
There's no blue wave, forget it, not coming. Like I tell criminals, Joe, stop running.
Was beyond the tale of running? You dog whistling fool. I think your daddy would finally be proud of you. He was a racist asshole too. What's this, Miller?
Is this now so there are accusations that Trump is secretly financed by Putin and making secret deals with Putin, and here we have Putin in the background, and they're speaking Russian, of course, so that there are accusations that hackers would influence the votes. Is this the reference? Because I really don't get it, and this is something else that breaks this battle for me from a musical standpoint. We didn't talk about the music enough. This is really one of the weakest ERBs in my opinion, which is partly because of the very slow and boring beat, as well as this random skit I don't get, which might flow over my head, and of course because this battle is more personal than the one with Trump and Clinton, which was actually on the political agendas more or less, and the more known facts about them, the internationally known facts about them, whereas this battle is a lot of personal things that I just have no clue what they mean or what they are referencing to, or which I just can't comment on. Yeah.
He was a racist asshole too. What's this malarkey?
Oh, you
Keep at it and you'll end up in jail, hoss. I'll take you down like a mule and you're a mailbox. From all your wives to the SATs, everything you ever did, you just had to cheat. Cause you're too insecure to even look like a loser.
Yeah, this is what I said earlier. This is really what my impression of Donald Trump is, for everything he does, everything he says, everything how he defends himself, how he defends his opinions and the opinions of his followers, is he really wants to win. Not for winning's sake, but just for not looking like a loser, just not looking like useless. Maybe there are some father issues in there, which would then explain the reference to Trump's dad, that he would finally be proud of Donald Trump. But yeah, he's just, he really don't want to look like he has no clue. He don't want to look like he would lose. I mean, he even said or indicated that he wouldn't even leave the White House if he would be voted out. He would just say that the election was faked or something like that, like he did already in before the elections with the male voters being attacked one after another. with more and more false accusations against the mail voting system and stuff like that. Oh. I shouldn't do videos like this. I should stick to the past, where we know everything leads to today, which is a total shit show, but you know what I mean. At least it's past.
Everything you ever did, you just had to cheat. Cause you're too insecure to even look like a loser. You're the worst damn Republican since Herbert Hoover. When you scooped up a sycophantic homophobe loser and became the Constitution's domestic abuser. 200,000 deaths lying at your door. You think they're suckers like McCain in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, like I said, he was really strongly depending on ruling by decree and bending the constitution, and he was whistled back more than a few times for breaking the constitution. He has plans to break the constitution even more, like with his third term, for example. So this is one of the few really good punches here from Joe Biden against Trump, is that he is the Constitution's domestic abuser. And the other 200 deaths lying at your door, I think I commented already earlier. It's just, like I said, 200,000 people are dead and more are to follow. But Donald Trump now stands there and says he has done so much great things after denying the virus at first, doing nothing at first, only acting when like the first 500,000 million or something were affected, and the first 10-20,000 were dead. Only then actually acting and listening to scientists, only to then later call them liars and stuff like that, and to praise himself as the great savior, and saying that he is immune and no one has done better than America in this crisis, which is another lie, because America is more or less hit the worst or close to the worst. And those 200,000, not all of them could have been prevented, because of course at first no one knew what this corona was, but other countries acted, and despite having like also over 400,000 infections since March in Germany, there's a death total of like, I don't know exactly, I think it was 17,000, 20,000, around that. I will put it in the info text box, but I think the percentage from infected to deaths and infected to population is much lower. I don't know if much lower, but lower than in America and other countries who adopted even better to the situation. It's even better with the numbers. So yeah, a lot of these 200,000 are on the count of Trump.
Scooped up a sycophantic homophobe loser and became the Constitution's domestic abuser. 200,000 deaths lying at your door. You think they're suckers like McCain in the Marine Corps. Sometimes I can't tell for which side you're rooting. When we go high, you go down on poop.
Yeah, there is this. I saw this in memes because they were made fun of, but there are people who aren't. I mean, you have flat earthers, you have anti-vaxxers, and now you have anti-maskers who say that Corona is just a hoax. And Donald Trump, with some of his statements, even supports this point of view. And what was it? Yeah, and one of the arguments is that masks are unmanly and that the army wouldn't wear it and didn't wear it in the Second World War, which, by the way, when during the First World War, the Spanish flu broke out, and the soldiers coming home wore masks because they didn't want to spread the Spanish flu, which also was a disease with a very high death count, and also a variation of the flu, which as corona is also a variation of the flu with a very high death count because it's very new and we don't have antibodies, and we don't have a vaccine. So yeah, and those people who then support this opinion that this is a hoax and masks are useless and science is lying and stuff like that, like Trump did, those people are a danger to their own people, and this is not something that anyone would consider good. At least I would think so, but America always proved me wrong.
Marine Corps. Sometimes I can't tell for which side you room. When we go high, you go down on poop. Truth is, you're scared to lose. You got nothing in the bank that I owe you. You're white about balance like a bitch, but the only thing that's rigged is taxes for the rich.
Yeah, that's also pretty current affair that Donald Trump did not pay his taxes, that he might even be poor, that all that money that he inherited from his father is already lost, and he only has debts, which would be a reason why he didn't pay his taxes. And even I think he made some statements that he will show his actual that he paid his taxes 3 years in advance and stuff like that, and he will show his papers, but he has them not on hand by now. I don't know if he actually did show them since then. I will put it in the info text box. By the way, this video might be a little bit late. Maybe it will come out on Tuesday. In that case, sorry. And yeah, but yeah. So there is. Trump said when he loses the election, he might have to leave the country, which I don't know. It could be at one point. I'm pretty sure if anything could start a new civil war in America, it would be this election. No matter who wins, because as said earlier, Donald Trump did succeed in splitting the country, and the political opinions were never as tense and as the tension was never as high as it is right now, I think. So this is why this will be a difficult election. And yeah, he accused the mail voting of being rigged, stuff like that. I already talked about that, so let's bring this video to an end because it's very long, over an hour right now. Okay.
You're a freeload. Change your name to Trump. My campaign ramping up. You can't get down a ramp. I'm pulling away faster than your wife's hand. For the love of democracy, will you shut up, man?
Yeah, that was a reference to the first debate, which also became a meme. Wait a second. 7 years ago. I think at that point they thought Donald Trump versus Vice President Joe Biden would be a nice thing, but yeah. So there will be a World Wednesday video next Wednesday, because I already recorded that, and it's I only have to edit it, and this they go pretty fast. This video here, which you are watching right now, will come out on this Friday, the 30th of October, or it will come out on Tuesday, the election day. Depends on how long it takes to edit. I was not expecting it to be this long, and if I do the live stream, then I won't do a video next Friday. If I don't do it, I might still not do a video next Friday, but the next video will be on the Civil War by Oversimplified. Maybe even with some election results in it. I don't know when I will record that. Maybe I will record it right now, but maybe I will record it later. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you stick to this point, then please join my Discord. You will find the link in the description, as well as the link to the original video. Thank you to Epic Rap Battles of History. They were also forced to do a break for the last months, and I'm glad that they could do a new video and are already planning on the next one. As we have seen, it might be some medieval stuff, maybe fantasy like Game of Thrones. I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and as always, I was Ossi Eastbourne and you were not. Good night, sleep well, and bye bye.